Hey everyone, Matic here, and today we're going to go over on how to do a very basic reverse punch. Alright, so when it comes to doing a reverse punch, what I call a reverse punch, you might call it something else. You might call it like a rear straight or right straight, a cross, a hook, whatever your name for it. Basically, we're throwing the backhand. So in the previous video where we worked on the jab, is I had y'all mainly pay attention using your back leg to throw your jab. Okay? This is standard across the board on how pretty much everybody uses or tries to develop power for their jab. We're still going to concentrate on the back leg in order to throw our backhand. And we're going to do this in a very specific way. So when most people go to throw the backhand, they'll typically tell you to turn or cut your hip in order to throw it. And if you know exactly what you're doing, you have felt the correct way to throw this technique, you understand what cutting your hip means. But one of the things that usually kind of messes people up is they'll feel like they're cutting here because they might feel tension or something like that, but their hip will still stay back here. My hips have barely moved forward, they've just gone here. But I feel this cut, boom, but my hip is still way back here. So what we're gonna do is one, with all of our punches or with all of our kicks, all of our movements, one of the important things we want to make sure of is that our hips and our shoulders move together. So in the jab video, I had you extend your back leg, which turns your whole torso, and extend your arm. This helps you hit with the structure of your body. So instead of turning my hips a little and then turning my shoulders a lot, which now I have a weak point in my structure, or I turn my hips a lot and my shoulders barely at all, it's still a weak structure. But if I turn it all, it is strong. Same thing when we're throwing the backhand. I want my hips and my shoulders to turn as one. To turn as one. So yes, we want to cut our front hip in order to go, but what I also want you to do, since we're mainly going to focus on the back part of our leg, is I want to take my knee and I want to point it down. Now this has made me completely turn without even thinking of my front hip. If I just think down, I'm not thinking about turning my hips, I'm not even thinking about moving my hips or letting them stay there. I'm just turning my knee down and my hips automatically turn. So all I'm doing is almost screwing in, screwing in, screwing in, screwing in my back knee. And I have to make conscious effort to not turn my shoulders when I do this because everything just wants to turn. Everything just wants to turn. At the same time that my knee drives down, I want to take my back elbow and I want them to move together. 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 Boom. 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 They're going together. Same thing as with my jab. Technically, when my knee moves, my elbow moves. Same thing with my backhand. Knee moves, elbow moves. You want them to move together. So one of the things we really want to pay attention to when we're throwing our backhand is our legs, because our legs are our base, our power source, the things that really helps us fight. So in a previous video I made on how to find your fighting stance, one of the things that I made sure of that I wanted y'all to do was your back heel and your front toe are on the same line and they point in this direction. The reason this is, there's two reasons. One is more for a defensive purpose. My knee is in line with the center of my body. So if you have a more wider stance, if you fight somebody that likes to fight dirty, they're coming right up Main Street and it's gonna hurt. Whether you're a man or woman, it's going to hurt. And in order to block that, you have to purposely turn your body to block. Okay? Or move your leg or something like that. The problem with that is, that I find, is that now you're preoccupied with blocking and you can't retaliate without coming back to the front. But with this stance that we've done, I have a natural barricade or guard up my center, so I don't really have to do all that much if something's coming this way. If it comes this way, then yeah, I'll wind up blocking or doing something else. The second reason we do our fighting stance like this is with my knee turned or pointed in this direction, and I'm going to punch with my back hand, automatically makes my structure from my legs up to my body nice and strong. Nice and strong. And when I want to make sure to keep that nice structure, I want to make sure my knee doesn't move like this, or my foot does not turn. If my leg is pointed this way and I go and I turn my knee down as much as I can, boom. This is as far as I can go if I keep my knees and shoulders together. If I want to punch further or further out, I can turn my shoulders, but that kind of creates structural issues. But as soon as my knee comes outside, one, I feel very off balance. The weight's on the outside part of my foot. Or if I let my foot turn, then I can just keep turning and my power goes outward. It does not go straight. So that's why our fighting stance is this way, it's a natural guard. And if I pay attention when I throw my reverse punch, it will not move. And I can maintain my power. So to kind of show another reference on why your front knee not moving when you throw your backhand, on why it's important, there's a manga, Japanese comic, called The Holy Land. It is a really good series, and it's basically about urban Tokyo or modern Tokyo, and this classic martial arts story. This nerdy, scrawny, weak kid learning martial arts techniques. He mainly learns boxing first, simple 1-2 punch. Through certain story arcs and stuff, you get to a point to where he's had this massive fight, and he fights a formal rival for fun to see what they're like. And his technique or his power isn't what it used to be. And they find out the reason is because when he throws his backhand, his knee is moving. And when they told him that, even he realized, oh, like that feels totally different. So what his former rival did, or his friend now, was he got a 2x4, he put it against his knee to keep it from moving, and then when he threw his punch, all of them felt and saw the power difference. So that's why it's important that when you throw your punch, you don't want your knee to have any side-to-side movement. Sometimes some forward and back is okay, but you don't want to be going this way. Okay, so that's enough talking about how to do a reverse punch or a cross or backhand punch. Now we're actually going to hit stuff. Here's the thing though. I am hitting the bag or object, whatever I'm using, whether you have a specific hitting thing or just a family member or friend with a pillow, is I'm using it to help me train technique. My goal is not to make the bag move. It will move because I do correct technique. So when I'm doing primarily my backhand, all I want to make sure of, my feet are correct, my front leg stays in, stays pointed in. Nice straight body, hips and shoulders turn as one. My knee turns down, and my knee and elbow move together. That's all I'm doing for now. I'm just trying to make this as smooth as possible. Boom, boom, boom. That's all I'm trying to do on both sides. Boom, boom. Once you get used to that so I can hold this. My body is flat, it is square, hips and shoulders together, and I can hold this. I'm not pushing, I'm holding. And all I'm thinking about is this, together, together. Then I can gradually build up speed and lay in some power as I go. But I have to make sure that I do my checklist. Make sure it's all good. Then add your power and your speed and all that mess. I'm Matic, and I'll catch you guys next time. We're going to go over on how to throw a very